Hi, everybody. My name is Diane Borman. I'm a multi award winning business growth specialist. What do I do? This is always interesting. People ask me. I'm not a coach, I'm not a mentor, and I'm not a consultant. I'm a business growth expert. That means that I'm here to help you increase your sales, increase your profit, and increase your confidence. All while we add practical business knowledge so that you can make better business decisions. As you grow, and that's who I work with, is business owners that want to grow to the next level. And as we grow to that next level, we need new knowledge. We need wisdom sometimes. We can't just be doing the same old, trying to get to that next level. The problem that I solve is practical knowledge. My experience comes from owning my own businesses, selling them, building a franchise levels, business, etc. And so that information I share. And I've been working with hundreds of business owners now, doing what I've been doing over the last number of years. And we give you access to an ecosystem which often we don't have. So experts surround me in certain areas, from legal, from numbers, from all sorts of areas, and I will teach you how to build your experts around you. We also help you with the building of strategies and plans, and of course the implementation behind that. But also we hold you accountable for what your goals are and for what you want to achieve. Sometimes business owners and entrepreneurs find being in business extremely lonely. Sometimes it's scary. And most of the times they don't have enough practical knowledge because they haven't done that jump to the next level yet. So we help you because what we stand for, what I stand for, is gaining and sharing knowledge and wisdom for innovation and pushing your boundaries, most certainly, and your limits. You didn't realize that you can get to that next level in many instances. We move businesses from 6 or 7 figures to 8 figure businesses. Um, I want to share my voice in a public speaking scenario, but I'm also there to facilitate in different workshops and one on one where we work through the diamond plan. You most certainly will have a lot of fun. We will laugh lots. I have a very infectious laugh, and if you're feeling stressed, that laugh is going to get to you, guaranteed. But I'm also going to share my experience. I'm here to inspire, motivate, and educate business owners for growth so that you can increase your sales, your profit, and your confidence. What I won't stand for is inauthenticity, because we will discover that along the way, stagnation in business, and just simply boringness. We don't want to be boring ever. We need that level of innovation, that level of creativity. So I'm here to help you build an ecosystem. I want you to take the time to be supported by business owners. And I want this ecosystem to be working together, adding positivity to one another, whilst employing and making impact in the economy.
Everybody jumps on now. Hi, Laura. At the hour on the hour, they all know how strict I am. As you can see, they all pop in. But so we try and keep this to an hour because everybody's very busy. I record it, so if you would like a copy of it, you're more than welcome to it. Um, we try and keep it as casual but as professional as we can. So you will see people popping on as they come into the meeting, and we ask everybody to try and keep their questions until at the end, unless you specifically ask them for something. Or everybody that's jumping on are business owners. In their own right, and most of them, all the people I can see, are really successful ones. So we super keen to impart as much knowledge as we can, and we try and during lockdown keep everybody focused on growth and moving forward. So welcome everybody, and thank you for being here. I have a great pleasure in introducing Mandy. Mandy and I have known one another for, I don't know, 20 something years, but Mandy's been in marketing for 26 years, and she has a very diverse range of clientele. Um, And hopefully today she's going to share some great insight and practical knowledge for everybody that you can still keep moving your business forward. And of course, everybody knows that you're welcome to connect with Mandy afterwards if you need further advice. And obviously, if you would like to be one of her clients, even better. So over to you, Mandy. You have the platform to chat away and educate all of us here today.
Excellent. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity, Dad. It's an absolute pleasure meeting you again and having a catch up with you prior to us starting this session. And to everybody out there, thank you so much for making the time. I'm going to kick things off. Daz introduced me already. My name's Mandy Rootman. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a granny, and a granny of a 2-month old. So I'm playing granny at the moment, and I'm a business owner. I own Maraschino Lifestyle Marketing and Events, which is a 26-year-old business, and as Dar has said, got a diverse range of clients in various industries across South Africa, and recently through lockdown, have had a number of international clients come on board, which is truly exciting, for a little agency like mine to have caught the eye of some international brands. Yes, I think the Rand dollar exchange has something to do with it, but at the end of the day, it's expanded our knowledge into an international market, which we didn't necessarily have. I'm also the co-owner of the Vuvuzela, which is a media broadcasting company that I call my Rona baby, as we started it in April 2020. Thanks to lockdown, a number of other business interests and partnerships, and have recently been termed a hustlepreneur, which I actually had to go and Google because initially I was like, no, I'm not really a hustler. And when it was explained to me, it was purely used for the reason that if I found an opportunity, whether it's for myself or somebody in my network, I generally action it incredibly quickly. So one of the, and I said to Doug Freund, I hope that there aren't any government officials or SAPS members, because during lockdown and subsequent to lockdown, and my husband and I now have a very successful wine business here in Ballito, a wine distribution business. So a lot of positive things have come out of lockdown. I have made notes for myself because I get incredibly excited and tend to sometimes go off on a tangent. So if you do see me turning, it's just a reminder so that I don't waffle too much. I'm not going to go into great detail about all the businesses that I'm involved in, but obviously we're here because of Maraschino today. Maraschino is a fully fledged marketing collective. We offer design, corporate identity development, print media, digital media, and traditional marketing. We also do web development, videography, photography, events, and activation. So that might sound a whole lot. But what I've found over the years is that when you've got a trust factor with the client, they would rather deal with you and either with people within your organization or somebody that you can refer them to. In the past 10 months, we've become incredibly strong in the e-commerce and online shopping space. Obviously, this has been blown into a full-scale new business opportunity because of lockdown, where people were forced to obviously go into the online space rather quickly. And there was an urgency. And yeah, so we've been playing in this field for about 10 months. And I spent most of my lockdown actually helping small businesses go into the online space so that they could sustain themselves, obviously, during this time. I'm going to quickly share with you about the Vuvuzela. The Vuvuzela is a media production company and was started in April during lockdown. I've got a colleague who I've known for about 20 years. He's a movie producer. He's had about 8 Afrikaans movies on Showmax. He's got a movie on Netflix. and he also does a lot of TV work. So one morning I get this phone call from him, and he says, "Oh, he's desperate for a bra, and have I got any wine?" So I think that was the most important thing on his mind was, did I have any wine? And then proceeded to ask me and say to me, "Are you as bored as I am?" So you know what? The reality is the majority of my clients are in the hospitality industry, and then obviously during lockdown, a lot of them came to a grinding halt. So Monet obviously has all the film equipment and all those sort of things, and the expertise in editing and producing. And literally within 24 hours, we had built a website, built social media channels, and basically got in our cars the next morning because we had a permit to travel and started interviewing everybody I knew that was in our local community in Belito that owned a small business, just to get them exposure. To date, we've shot 150 interviews. We've had some people who we've coached to do Zoom interviews, and it's just grown in leaps and bounds. Um, the reason why I'm actually mentioning this is because for me, it's been incredibly special to see businesses that we've interviewed are now referring business to other people we've interviewed. And within our community space in Belito, people have met that they might have driven past before, or never had the inclination to buy from. And the Vuvuzela has presented a face to businesses, and people have been able to tell their stories, as well as give information on their products and services. So I'll also share with all of you, anybody who's interested, the link to the Vuvuzela, and possibly we can do some Zoom interviews with anybody who is actually interested. It's had massive reach and engagement. We didn't charge for our interviews because we had the resources and we used our own resources. And what's also incredible is that even though none of the partners involved in the Vuvuzela have ever asked for any monetary compensation, we have organically all gotten clients out of it. So sometimes it's not about charging, and you'll see later on where I talk about traditional marketing and fair exchange. I think fair exchange and the world that we know it has really gone back to that community spirit and supporting each other. And I do think that's going to stay because the results have been incredible when you network within your own community and support your own community. So let's get going on why we are really here. And as I said to those who are still joining, I do need some notes because I tend to get overly excited and go off on a tangent. I feel that it's important for me to mention that I'm incredibly logical and practical when it comes to marketing. And what I want to share with you today is not only strategies and learnings that I've had through my clients, but what I've learned and applied in my own businesses. I'm sure that part of what I'm going to be sharing with you, some of you may have heard, possibly even implemented. However, it will either give you comfort that you're on the right track and heading in the right direction, or it is going to shake you up and you're going to have to say to yourself, all right, I think I need to get moving so that all these things are ready to take on an incredible 2021, because that is exactly what it is going to be. So COVID-19 and lockdown turned life and business as we know it upside down. However, I've seen more entrepreneurs and small to medium businesses growing leaps and bounds during this time. Why? Because they've adapted their strategies, they're open to change, and have taken the time to learn new skills. And in some instances, have added services or products to their existing offering. Here, as I said, have taken their business into the online space. And you know what, if you've been in retail and you were closed down in retail, you were literally forced into a space that even if you hadn't been in before, it's incredibly daunting. And it's incredibly scary. Let's be honest. I don't really think anybody can just jump into that space and feel secure that they know what they're doing and they're going to get the same results as what they got in retail. We had to do, personally, we had to do a lot of homework and legwork. And I still believe that there's so much to learn for South Africans in that online e-commerce state. A lot of clients, my small clients, if they hadn't have moved into the online space, whether it's in e-commerce or a little shopping site or Facebook, it actually would have sunk them and sunk their families. So it was vital for a lot of people. Well, today I'm obviously here to talk more about digital marketing. I think it's also important to touch on the importance of traditional marketing. Some of the elements I'm going to share with you have almost made a retro type of comeback in the last 8 months. And we're seeing some great results for clients. So traditional marketing is the conventional way of reaching out to your semi-targeted audience with various offline advertising and promotional methods. Some examples include face-to-face networking, print media, which is your magazine and newspapers, broadcast communication, which is TV and radio, and then referral marketing. I'm going to briefly run through the ones that I work quite closely with, just to give you examples and maybe some ways that you can approach people in these industries or in these traditional marketing areas. So networking, as Diane would tell you, has always been something that I absolutely love. And over the 26-year period, I have to tell you, it's what has sustained me and helped me grow my business in years gone by. Obviously, networking over lockdown has been fairly difficult in terms of physically going to a networking event. However, Zoom, Skype, all those things have been here for people to have networking type of events. And I always think it's so important to share energies, and there's nothing better than if somebody comes on board in a meeting and is full of positivity and drive. It can change your day. It can change how you see things. You might be really on the edge of just wanting to throw in the towel. And I often find that networking events just help people realize, firstly, that they're not alone. And secondly, that there is solutions out there. And you know what, that somebody actually cares. I have found during lockdown, especially with Zoom meetings and that, people have become more open. You used to get a lot of people who would hold back because they didn't want to share their IP and things like that. But people have realized how important um, showing the real you and what your business stands for, in this difficult time. And it's taken a lot of coaching for my bigger clients, because the CEOs of large organizations and that do not like being the face of their businesses. And so getting them into a space where they've been able to add value to partners of theirs has helped them grow their businesses as well. So networking for me is amazing. It's also the physical version of your business card. So you know what, if you're in front of a group of people and you have an exciting, vibey, edgy business, that's got to be portrayed. You know what, you only get a few minutes or whatever to introduce your business. Use that time wisely. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily like talking in public. But you know what, if you love your business, you should be able to portray that in your introduction. I'm not really good at planning speeches and workshops. I prefer speaking off the cuff. And I can, because I live, eat, and sleep my business, my clients. I put myself in my clients' shoes. I learn about their products and their services. So I live and eat and sleep it. So for me to chat about them without prepping, has become, pretty easy for me to do so. So just, even if you have to practice in front of a mirror and, do it, because you are your business card in situations like today. Print media is often thought to be more truthful and authentic. I have different thoughts on that. And what I do is I look for community orientated print media opportunities. I look for publications that may have a print version that has a lifespan of at least 2 to 3 months, but has a strong online. And whatever you may put in the printed version obviously stays online. So those are the opportunities that I look for my clients. Community publications also are often interested in giving free opportunities to local business owners. So I'm not saying send out to your mass magazines and that, but look at your local publications, the old Caxtons, your old little local newsletters, things like that, and send the editors a short blurb of who you are, how long you've lived in the area, what your business is, and you'd be surprised how many of them give you an opportunity to do an editorial or something of that nature. Broadcast media, I don't play in the TV advertising space. I'm really, it's too costly and even for my corporate clients. But once again, look for opportunities with local community radio stations. What I found down here in KZN is that even your larger radio stations, for instance, like East Coast Radio, are running live reads for ridiculous prices. And they're giving a lot of businesses the opportunity on certain days of the week during lunch hour to send a WhatsApp note, a voice note about who they are and what they do. So look at those opportunities. Don't be shy to approach these media companies and these publications. To sustain themselves, they need the SMEs to actually come on board. So you know what? They realize that it's got to be, can't be too pricey for them. So they're adding huge value. So look out for those opportunities. And the next one I want to touch on is referral marketing. This, in my opinion, goes hand in hand with networking. And I've always done referrals within my network. However, one thing I have learned, and unfortunately have been burnt a number of times, is make sure that the person that you're referring is like-minded, has the same work ethic as you, because very often the comeback is going to come back on you. So I've seen referrals happen in huge amounts during lockdown, which is phenomenal. I always say that referrals, the payment of referrals doesn't have to be monetary. It could be a trade exchange, a barter agreement, and as long as it's a fair trade and the partners involved understand that, you could have actually an incredible deal going for you. So, that's just something which I have just seen work during this difficult time during lockdown. I'm very fortunate that my clients, suppliers, and people in my network refer me to others within their network. And I think they do that purely because I am confident in referring them. So build a little network of referrals, and I'm sure Diane, if any of you have done any work with her, she probably would have brought this up in any trainings or workshops, because she's always been incredibly strong in that field. So I've had clients also that now give referrals to each other. So I did an introduction with all of my clients. I invited them all to a Zoom meeting, let everybody introduce themselves like a networking event, which I spoke about earlier. and I've got clients supporting clients, which is also incredible. So very happy with that. Before moving on to online digital marketing, something that worked out incredibly well for us during lockdown, and I want to mention it now. Probably about 18 months ago, I started a whole lot of WhatsApp groups, community WhatsApp groups, and shared the links to these WhatsApp groups on Facebook, on community Facebook groups. These groups have grown in leaps and bounds. So what I did do is I did them interest related groups. So there's one that is restaurant specials, the other is a holiday accommodation, property sales and rentals, and that sort of thing. And just by sharing on Facebook and the community groups on Facebook, these groups just grew. So a lot of you may know that WhatsApp groups, you're only allowed about 254 people on a group. So we started converting our groups to Telegram. So what I want to make the point here is ask on your local social media community groups, are there any business WhatsApp groups that you can share your content on? And you know what? If not, why don't you start one in your area? I just found that there's a huge appreciation for small business owners to start community projects where everybody benefits. So definitely look into creating those if you don't know of any in your local community. Okay. So let's get on to online and digital marketing while you're here, actually. While I've got a successful marketing company, let me tell you that we live in a time where technology moves incredibly fast, and and consumer interests are changing on a daily basis. We saw that during lockdown. Um, Behaviors are hard to predict, and they also change all the time. Nothing works forever, and obviously we as marketers are constantly learning. And I believe that part of our own success is that we look at each client individually at the time that we're working with them and develop a current, up-to-date strategy. I don't do copy and paste. Even if I've got clients that are in similar industries and 1,000 kilometers away from us, the target market's different, the language how you speak is different. So I don't do anything that's copy and paste. Some may disagree with me, but I believe that in our current economic market, which is changing all the time, like I've said, you cannot have a fixed digital online strategy, especially not one that is older or pre-planned for more than 6 months. We don't know what is going to happen next month, especially in our own country. You go ahead with the strategy, you plan it all, and things change automatically. So whilst there might be a big plan for the year ahead, just make sure that you're ready to adjust that strategy and that you keep your eyes and ears open on trends and that you've almost got a backup plan. So in life, most of us know we need a backup plan to a backup plan sometimes. And the same applies with marketing and online strategies. You've got to be able to adapt quickly. So I think we're all in the same position where we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. So you know what, just prepare yourself. When you've got a little bit of time, go, okay, that's my strategy. However, if things change, how can I adapt something new pretty quickly? In the online space, I want to just quickly talk also about artificial intelligence, which has become a fact in 2020. With a lot of people waking up to the dominance of it, it's here to stay, and it's taking over some simple jobs that humans used to do. Artificial intelligence refers to developing computer systems able to perform intelligent tasks. Things like visual perception, understanding, language, reasoning, and decision making. It's quite scary that these computers are going to be able to make decisions for us, but it is happening there. Today, with fast and powerful computers and access to larger amounts of data and algorithm improvements, AI systems have taken off. And some examples where it's already quite active is the role it plays in basic communication, product recommendation, content creation, email personalization, which all of us know with the likes of MailChimp and those, it's already there. And then e-commerce transactions. So if your marketer or, basically suggests some AI options to you, it's not as far-fetched as you may think. So you know what, add that into your marketing strategy if that's the route you're going to go. For me, the strongest thing that has come out of lockdown and during this particular COVID time is that it's so important that not only in times of crisis, it's vital for companies to maintain their brand and to stay in constant communication with their target market. For me, it should be a strategy that's there all the time because it creates brand loyalty, even through difficult times. Remember, the situation we find ourselves in, like any other situation, is going to pass at some stage. And the companies that are in constant communication with their audience are the ones that are going to be at the forefront of people's minds. And I think that's also what's worked in community projects that we've done during lockdown is, you know what, you've got to put a face to the brand. People are buying more from people now and people that they can connect with than they ever have before. So I encourage everybody to actually become the face of your brand and the spokesperson of your brand. One thing that COVID has taught us is like never before, there is your audience and a captive audience for exactly what you are selling and wanting to listen to what your services are, your products, and also the knowledge that you have about this. People have, during this time, had time to investigate and to spend time learning about products, learning about the people who sell them, and the credibility. So many hours at home when you used to being in the office all day and running around madly has seen millions of desk jockeys who are intelligent, they research. So make sure that whatever content you are putting out there about your brand and your products and your services is gospel, because there's a lot of people out there that have nothing better to do than to be negative, and that's not a space that you actually want to be in at all. I feel quite strong that even though we're now sitting at level 1, this isn't a hard sell time, or to be aggressive with marketing and sales. I know at the end of the day, everybody needs to drive sales, but what I've seen with businesses that have really pushed sales is they've actually lost the fight. Rather show compassion and understanding, offer solutions, and if you're able to add value by offering special deals, or if it's products, add a bonus product. That is what people during lockdown have wanted to see. While you may not see the immediate revenue return on adding value, this in the long run will help maintain and restore relationships. You know what, once people's cash flows seem to be getting better right now, so a lot of the buying power is coming back, with people going from short time at work to salaries maybe going to the 60, the 70%. So the buying power is starting to get there again, which is fantastic for business. My biggest thing is, I've always said to my clients during lockdown, you've got to be able to help your customers today. So we live in a world where people want instant gratification. So during lockdown, if there was something that a dad who's never at home during the week and all of a sudden walked around and, oh my word, the creepy crawlies, this and all of those sort of things, gets onto Google, He wants all the pricing, all the information. So whatever you are selling, make sure that in whatever you're saying, whatever you're writing, that the finer details are there. Because the minute they're not, and a business person needs to now go find your website, read through pages, or if the social media doesn't have the info, they're going to go to the next one. So I'll get onto a bit of content writing just now. So whether you're a small man, a small business, or a large business, you need to educate yourself as to where your brand lies in the online space. Whether you action this yourself or you have a marketing person or a consultant, that's entirely up to you. Many of my clients, when they joined us, had never done this exercise before. So often I'll get approached by a senior manager if it's a larger company or a small business owner, and I'll say to them, okay, what platforms have you got? And they'll go, I've got a Facebook page. Have you got a website? Yes, but it was done 10 years ago. Okay. Do you have a Google My Business? Have no idea what I'm saying. So, and this is where my passion lies. I love educating people and teaching people that this is a space to not be scared of. There are controls in place. You've just obviously got to know how to work it if you're going to be doing your own social media and your own online. So I always ask, but the first thing I do is I suggest that people go and Google their business, first of all right? A lot of companies, unless you pay quite a bit of money, won't obviously come up on the first page, but the second page and third page and fourth page isn't a bad thing at all. And there are ways to get there, not necessarily with huge budgets. What's incredibly important for me is for businesses to have a Google My Business page. So if you go and Google your business or you go and Google another business, you'll see on the screen when it comes up that there is on the right-hand side basically a photo of an outside of a building and details, maybe the street address, because Google Maps and Google Search picks up Google My Business account. You can take ownership of yours. And it is incredibly important that you do that. If a Google My Business page doesn't come up for you, it's not a train smash. You can Google on how to create one. Otherwise, you can ask your marketeer. Otherwise, you can drop me a note and I'll help you do it. One thing that people never really understood until probably the past year is that a Google My Business page is literally a mini website. It is social media through and through. So when we get to the social media strategy and the fact that you've got to be posting regularly and constantly be engaging and responding to inquiries, the same applies for Google My Business. I've got a case where I have the most beautiful restaurant in Umhlanga. It has been my baby for 4 years. The owner doesn't like spending mullah. And you know what? It is now sitting on the third most photographed restaurant, according to Google, in Southern Africa. We haven't paid Google 1 cent. We have driven absolutely so many things via Google My Business and via social media. So you don't need big budgets. You really don't. But you've got to work your online, and that is your Google My Business and your social media. Yes, I'm fortunate. I do have some clients with big budgets, so we achieve results quicker. But you know what? As long as you're consistent and you are monitoring all these channels, you're only going to get better, and you're only going to. It is not something that you can set up and leave. It's got to be worked at constantly. So I say to a lot of people, if you're going to be doing your own social media, telling you now, set aside time in your day, in your workflow of whatever you're doing, and be consistent about it. And you will see the results. For those of you who don't know, Google My Business is for free. And so when customers are searching for you on Google Maps, or searching for products similar, your business is obviously going to come up. So on Google My Business, you can update your business hours, you can add in your website address, your contact numbers, and most importantly, you can upload photos. And one thing I'm going to say to you, never ever upload a photo which is just a number. Google does not like it. What you need to do is rename your images uniquely. So if it is an item and that item in your business is called whatever it may be, name it exactly what it is. And at the end, you can put a number, because you might have 20 items that are pink, but you might have 50 that are blue. So how you're going to work it out in your mind is either go pink or blue at the end of the item, all right? Or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 and have a little list that you've got so that you know what you'd call them. Okay, so it's very important that you name your images on Google My Business. Vital. Keep your profile updated with fresh, newsworthy stuff. If you are running specials, add them there. It's incredible how I have seen the most ridiculous photos get incredible engagement. So you must remember that people are allowed to add photos to your Google My Business. We have had photographs of silly things like in the food industry and hospitality, where somebody has finished, say, a bunny chow. So they look very appealing when you get it. It looks beautiful. But now this person, for some reason, wants to take a photo of it half finished, which now it looks dreadful on the plate. But they're awfully excited to tell you they've now eaten it. And whilst the owner of the restaurant will go absolutely ballistic because it's not showing his bunny chow in the correct manner, the amount of hits that we get on photographs like that is phenomenal. And you know why? Because it's real. People want real. So that's very important. And I just, some days I actually just can't believe we get traction. So while you're on Google, take time to Google your competitors. You know what? During lockdown, so many businesses took the time to obviously update websites, all those sort of things. Okay, whereas others literally froze for the wave to pass. All right. Most of the entrepreneurs that I know absolutely just took the opportunity and worked on getting their stuff updated. And they're now ahead of their competitors. So do yourself a favor, even if it's once a month. Go onto Google, Google your own business, see where you are, go and Google your competitors, see what they've added. I'm not saying go and copy what they're doing, but very often you may find something that they're not tapping into that you can actually tap into to set you apart from them. So it is homework, but it's worth your while to go and do it. Next thing is you need to go through your own website. And that's why I'm saying look at your competitor's website too and make notes. Because when it's industry specific, you could have a lot of information pertaining to a service or a product that your competitors got However, you might have an add-on or something that's unique that you haven't put into your content, all right, that you might need to change and add. So we spent a lot of time with clients going through their websites, going, all right, you know what, Google likes 600 words per page, just by the way. They really like 600 words per page. You get naughty points for that. So sometimes your content writing and expanding is needed. So just make a note of that. If you don't have a website, I do encourage people, even if it's a 1-pager, a 2-pager, or a 3-pager, to get one done or to do one yourself, because we're still in that phase where websites are seen to give credibility. So, and you're not in this day and age, you don't have to spend a fortune. You really don't. But even if it's a little website, set it up. Most important thing is make sure that it's mobile friendly. More and more people are using their phones opposed to laptops and desktops. And you know what? It can cut off certain things. And the information that people are looking for, they might not be able to see on their phone. And it's a total deterrent. So if there's one thing that I say to you to focus on, is make sure that it's mobile and user friendly. Okay. We deal a lot in WordPress, and we build little websites for clients all the time. I've got clients that also do Wix, their own little websites. And you know what? It serves the purpose. Also make sure that your social media channels are on there. And if possible, add a link so that your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed is there. Remember, you tend to update your social media more than you do your website. So if the feed for, say, for instance, your Facebook page is there, it can grab their attention. And then all of a sudden they'll go onto Facebook, they'll like your page, and maybe they'll follow you there. Okay. A lot of people are using Facebook to search, it used to only be Google where you searched. Now you can search on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. So make sure that your profiles on social media have all that info. How long have I been yabbering? Oh, I better hurry.
We've got 15 minutes left.
Yo, you see, I get so excited. Sorry. Okay, even though now you've got a website and you've maybe got an updated website, the key to remember with your new website, on its own, it's unlikely going to do anything for you. All right, I'm sorry to say. It takes some work. So if you've got a bit of cash, you can look at SEO, and you can pay for website leads through Google Ads. Another way is email marketing, and then social media campaigns are all inbound marketing, and they all sound strategies on their own. But whichever one you choose, remember you'll need to do something to get those new clients through to your website. Okay, social media. Everybody needs a social media presence. It has taken me some very long extended hours with larger business owners to explain why they need to be there. And the reality is you've just got to be there. Because if you're not there, you're missing out an opportunity. There are different audiences on every social media channel. So you might not have the same audience on Facebook as you've got on Instagram. LinkedIn is totally different, and I'm going to go into that now. The biggest thing is, and what I've also found in lockdown, is that we've been asked by clients, please check that these pages are set up properly. So the reality is, if you haven't done your own page and you maybe don't have the knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with that, you will find that there's information missing. So because so many people use the search on these social media channels now, it's vital that as much as on your website, that all the information is there, that the information on the social media is also there. Because if they go onto your page and the info is not there, they're going to go somewhere else. Because in your search bar, all the others also come up. And while we work on all the channels, our main channels are Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, YouTube plays a big part. And we've now added that to every single one of our client strategies. Videos are just the way to go. So I always do a bit of both, but we are educating our clients to do more and more videos. Just remember, videos on social media, you've got different time frames. So you'll have to do a bit of homework as to what you're allowed on each channel. But what we've also done is we've created YouTube channels for our clients, and we're finding that people who want to see extended versions or the full version are now not opening it up on a client's website. They're actually going to YouTube, and the links you can put on social media are directing them to YouTube. So a lot of small businesses don't necessarily do YouTube. You know what? It's just one more channel for you to add to. I know it's extra work, but it's showing great growth. Okay. Depending on the clients and the type of business, we sometimes suggest Twitter, but it's normally for your models, your celebrities, your government officials, those sort of people. And then there's TikTok. Now, most people go, oh my word, TikTok. But let me tell you, there's a place for it. If you've got a funky, edgy brand, and I used to think it was a kid thing until I really went and spent. There are some tunnies on there who are so entertaining, who own little businesses that I'm totally in love with. It's so entertaining, but you've got to have that sort of brand to be in that space. Okay. Otherwise, it can be quite challenging. All right. So as I said earlier, remember that there are different audiences and potential markets on different social media channels. So depending on your business or your forte, you've got to actually play around to see where you're going to get better results. A good exercise for you to do is to actually sit and work out in your own mind. Who is my typical customer? How old are they and where do they live? Are they male and female? What is their income? Because generally, you know what, people will show cars and houses, and yes, it might all be owned by the bank, but they're portraying a lifestyle. Also, if somebody is a doctor or shows that they work for a massive firm, you can get the perception that they're professionals. Okay. Also, it's important to see what their interests are, because their interests will tell you which of your services or products you need to focus on when targeting them. The next step is to work out what the goal is for your selected audience. As a business owner, I know you probably want to drive sales by attracting customers, but there are more creative ways for social media. While some brands use social media to drive brand awareness and develop friendly relationships with potential buyers, others use it for customer support. So we have a massive client which plays in the financial and the medical field. And when we took over their social media 3 months ago, it was horrific. There were thousands of negative comments. There were comments that were not answered. And it has taken us 3 months to clean it up. And let me tell you, the turnaround has been amazing. So for this particular client, Facebook worked as a customer service type exercise. And you know what? The staff now are so quick at responding to us. If we send them something and say, okay, listen, you've got to get back to this guy. He's now asked 3 times, and you've got to react to it. So it's very important. Facebook is the foundation for me in terms of social media. It's been there a lot longer. It's evolved. And also, so many people are in and off Facebook all the time. Facebook is open on their phone, opposed to the likes of Instagram and all the others that you may have to go into and log into. Your business page needs to be like your website. So you've got to make sure that from a visual perspective, that your brand identity is in place, that all the information is there, because you don't want them leaving when they're on your page. You've got to take time to go through the free tools that are available there, understand the page sections, and make sure that all that information is complete. You can also add lots of different tabs. You know, if there's an about us, contact us, you can have a shopping tab, all those sort of ones. So spend time properly setting up your page, okay, is vital. Yeah, remember that people want answers quickly. So having an automated message is so important on all of your social media channels, but almost preempt what they're going to ask for. So you can go, Mandy, thank you so much for your inquiry. We're busy at the moment. However, if you're wanting a menu, please click on this link, which will show your menu. If you're wanting to make a booking, please contact us on da-da-da or email us on da-da-da. Don't just have, thank you for your message, we will get back to you within 24 hours. Rather give them some info, okay? You've set up this Facebook page, all right? Now, how are you going to get people to like it? So I always say to people, go to the people you know first. So once again, networking in the different space. And then go and join all of your community groups. Okay. I own about 250 Facebook groups and pages for my sins. The reason why I did this is because it's a free way of sharing my clients' content. Okay. It gives you more reach and it gives you engagement. If you are sharing to the 250 people on your page and only on your page, I'm sorry to say, it's not going to work. Okay. The other thing is people go, oh, I want likes. I want likes. Likes mean nothing. I've got clients that have come to me and said, my competitor's got 1,000 likes. When you go and look at who those likes are, they've been bought. So only 10% of them are going to potentially be a customer. Rather have the right people who are going to become your customers. Okay. And it does take time. You know what? If you've got a small budget, you can promote and boost posts, and you can be clever in terms of how you want to gain likes. Okay. Because you can choose your target market, all those sort of things. But don't be concerned. Let me tell you, reach and engagement is what you want to be able to see. Okay. All right, we'll miss that. I've got so much more to say. People ask me a lot about how many times should I be posting on my social media. The reality is you have to be posting a minimum of 3 times a week. Okay, minimum. Anything less than that, you're basically wasting your time, because the Facebook algorithms and social media algorithms are forever changing. It used to be that you needed to post at specific times of the day. That is now also trial and error. So what I was taught and what I thought was right, I've had to relearn. I've had to go sit and I've had to go play with each client's social media. I've had to go and try posting at ridiculous times, sometimes 10 o'clock at night, because with the algorithms, I want people to see it the next morning at 6 o'clock. Because sometimes, depending on where you are in the queue and how much Facebook likes you, you might be wanting people to come for breakfast, okay, but they only see it at dinner time. So play around. Don't be scared to play around. There isn't any right or wrong, but the only way you're going to know what works for you is to play around. Okay, Instagram has become a biggie. It's amazing. It's evolved over the years. People are making money out of Instagram. Instagram is a very image orientated social media channel. Okay. You've got to be sharing to stories. Okay. You've got to be using hashtags. So, and all of these things that I'm telling you You can actually go and Google. Google's like should be everyone's best friend. Because the information is there, but it is time consuming. And if you're busy, I understand you can't go and do this. But hopefully today, if you have got somebody who works for you, who does your marketing, you've maybe got a better understanding and you can say to them, are you doing that? Do you know this? It's just giving you a bit of more insights. Okay. LinkedIn is just phenomenal. And LinkedIn has changed and is just the most incredible platform to be on. We've taken huge CEOs who are totally out of their comfort zones. We've created business pages where they now interact. And one thing about LinkedIn is you know the sort of people that you are promoting to or who you are talking to. So if your target market is there, it is an incredible platform to be on. If you've got a personal profile, go and create a business page and you can link the two, which is very important. Okay. Become an expert on topics relating to your business. So go onto LinkedIn, see who's talking about your industry, go onto their posts, comment on their posts. LinkedIn has become incredibly interactive. So spend some time there, okay? You're not giving your IP away either. Sharing a little bit of knowledge and insight, you're only going to gain. You're not going to lose, I can assure you. So as I've said before, social media takes time. 4 minutes. Takes time. So work it into your daily workflow, okay? You know what? It's worth every single bit of that time. I'm quickly going to chat about content, okay? So when you're writing content, once again, it's about your target audience, okay? So you've got to be conscious of where they are at in their lives, what they are needing, okay? And what their passions are. You've also got to maybe look at content, which is, we know you're feeling like this, and we would love to help because we've got this product or the service. So you're not pushing the product or the service. It's the tone in which you use your message, okay, and how you write your wording. Okay. So basically, and this is my all-time best, okay, you've got to stop business speak on all other social media profiles other than LinkedIn. Okay. People want real. They want to know who this person is behind this brand. They don't want a glorified, beautiful bedroom that they are going to book for an anniversary and then Google and find a whole lot of pictures because that image has been stolen. They want real. They want to understand the person behind the business. They want to know about you. And whilst you may not want to share personal information, it's vital that you give your brand credibility. So using yourself, either if it's a little video clip or you share something that is personal, that's what people are attracted to today. Because there's millions of people possibly doing what you do. What is going to set you apart? It's going to be you building a relationship with your audience. That's what's going to keep you there. So in a nutshell, marketing in the online space has become about the real personality of a brand and people behind the brand. People want to support people and people buy from people. So I know that was a quickie and we've run out of time. I probably would have carried on for another 2 hours, but I hope you've all learned something or picked up some tips and hints. Any of you are welcome to get in touch with me if you want to check if you're doing things correctly. Dav will share my details with all of you. And yeah, I just hope that you learned something. And if you are doing things that I've mentioned, good on you. Keep it up. If you're not, get busy.
Thanks, Mandy. That's absolutely awesome. Just quickly, there's a question from Colleen for you. Where will you find a community WhatsApp group?
Okay, so
Can she Google it? Or?
No, so generally, what I say to people is go onto Facebook, Google the area that you live in, and see what groups come up. Generally, there's a whole lot of community groups. Join those groups. If they might be special interest groups, or they might just be a general group. Ask on those groups, are there any local WhatsApp and Telegram groups for business? If there isn't, go and start your own, and then you share your links on that group to get the members.
Awesome. We are 2 minutes over, and I know if anybody needs to run, they can run. But we're going to hang on to Mandy for a couple of minutes, just in case there's any specific questions that you've got for her while she's online, before she has to dash off to her meetings. So anybody got, I know in the chat bar, everybody's saying awesome, wonderful, thank you for all the generous information. Does anybody have a specific question for Mandy?
Mandy, could
Yes.
uh, the Google business page, is that the pinned thing?
Yes, basically it is. So if you Google your own business, you'll
Yes.
see on the right-hand side, if nothing comes up on the right-hand side,
Yes.
then you
Okay.
don't have a Google My Business page. It's location orientated.
Yes. So what's interesting for me there is the idea of putting new pictures up and then tagging those pictures, because
Correct.
I'm selling online workshops in neuromarketing
Okay.
and in the USA, but I want to create a market here for it. And I'm just a bit anxious because obviously I'm charging dollars. So I
Yes.
want to make a South African price because there's no way that we've got that sort of money.
Mm.
Will that create a bad thing if the USA does what can I do about that? Or should I rename the class?
Okay, so what I would suggest to you, you don't always need a physical address to have a Google My Business page. It takes a lot of authentication and some backwards and forwards. Sometimes they send you a postcard, sometimes they want to phone you.
That's what
But there
we
is-
did. We did the
yeah.
postcard thing.
There is
So
a lot of trial and error. What I would suggest is if you've got one in America, leave the one in America for the US dollars and create a different name for the one in South Africa. Because if there's the same name, they're going to pick it up.
yeah, no, but the one I've got is South African.
Oh,
Okay? And
yeah.
the prices on my website are dollars, which is completely over the top. So I don't think can you have a Google My Business page without the pin?
You can. You can. What I would suggest to you is,
Oh, sorry, everyone, I'm taking up
so
time.
maybe I'll chat to you afterwards, or I can get your details from Dar, because it can also be that we might need to adjust something on your website that it picks up the IP of where the inquiry is coming in from, and then you can literally have US dollars if it's from the States, but if it's from South Africa, it will show your rand dollar, your rand.
Because what I actually want to do is the dollar jobs, or the dollar jobs to because I wanted to finance South Africa, so I can virtually give South Africa away for almost nothing. So that it's just about spreading it, like you said, it's paid forward. It's exactly what you're doing now.
Correct.
So yes, okay. Diane will give us together. Thank you, Diane.
Please. Absolute pleasure.
Yes,
Yeah, so I've got a similar situation where a particular service, I have no choice. I have to charge, I cannot charge less than a certain rate in America or in other countries, because I would then be undercutting the people who are actually located in those. So I have exactly the same thing as Colleen, where for those markets, the price is prescribed
Yes.
as a minimum. And
What
so
I
I
will do is, if Dan can send me your details, I'll drop you both an email of ways in which we can overcome those issues.
Yeah. And exactly like Colleen's saying, I want to do that because that one is twice the price of South African rates. I want to use that to subsidize people who would not be able to afford the service, is to actually then give that service free of charge to to people here who, as I say, who can't pay, who would never be able to pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, super.
Awesome.
I'm happy to try and help and get that sorted for you.
Awesome.
Thank you. But it's been valuable.
you.
Thank you so much.
Lovely
you,
to meet you, Mandy. Lovely passion. And
Everybody, I hope you got some valuable info, and thank you, Da, once again for the opportunity.
Pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome day. See you
Take
next
care.
week.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.